afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Vaughn Martin, Deputy Chief of Campaigns with Popular Democracy, and I'm honored to be with you as our MC for today's press conference. Popular Democracy, the largest network of grassroots organizations in the country, is part of the Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools, a badass coalition that called this National Day of Action to protect public schools. Now, who was the our we're talking about? Our schools are for Black, brown, immigrant, low-income, queer and trans students all over the country. Our schools belong to families who see schools not just as institutions, but as the heart of their communities. Our schools are led by educators and school staff, the backbone of public education. They show up every day to ensure that young people receive the quality education that we all know they deserve. At AROS, our fundamental belief is that we are stronger together. Grassroots powerhouses like the Journey for Justice Alliance, Alliance for Educational Justice, Popular Democracy, and Advancement Project are uniting with some of the largest teacher unions and staff unions in the country, NEA, AFT, and SEIU, because we know that the most transformative change comes when communities and labor join forces to protect public ed. Today, you're going to hear the stories of folks on the front lines, youth, parents, and staff who have to live with the impact of decisions and policies made here in DC every single day. And these stories are not just anecdotes. These are moral compasses that should guide every decision maker in this country. Trump and his pick for Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, they want to destroy public education. They want to advance a racist, transphobic, anti-immigrant capitalist agenda that puts young people in danger. It threatens their future and it harms our schools. He literally wants to close the Department of Education, and we know that that ain't right, right? Right. Shame. So, while trying to pass tax cuts for his super rich friends, Trump actually wants to slash our already vastly underfunded public education budgets. We need billionaires out of schools. We need Elon Musk out of our government. For decades, our nation's public schools, they've been pillars in our communities, propellers for democracy, and a great equalizer for our robust economy. Like all right-wing authoritarian regimes, they fear equality and they fear education. They thrive on chaos, on ignorance, and we're not standing for that. Education is under attack. So what do we do when education's under attack?
Stand up!
Fight back! That's right. Together, we're here to meet the moment. We're clear on our mandate to protect one of our most basic and important public institutions. Again, public schools are the foundation of our democracy, and they act as opportunity ladders for our communities. So let's talk quickly about what we are fighting for, because this is a battle for our future. So how do we get there? How do we get to demand fully funded, inclusive, and supportive schools? First, we demand that Congress pass the Keep Our Pact Act and fully fund education, particularly IDEA and Title I, ensuring that students with disabilities, students in low-income areas, that they get the support that they are owed. Project 2025 would dismantle IDEA as we know it, putting the education of more than 7 million young people with disabilities at risk, and we say no. In states that are represented here today, like Pennsylvania and Louisiana and Maryland, Title I makes up 12 to 15% of state education budgets. Gutting this funding is an outright attack, and we refuse to accept it. We also demand an end to federal policies that allow ICE to terrorize students and their families at school. We demand an end to policies that scapegoat and target LGBTQ youth at school. Schools should be safe havens, not battlegrounds. We demand full funding for school districts that teach inclusive, honest, LGBTQ-friendly curriculum. Every student deserves to see themselves reflected in their education. Lastly, we're in direct opposition to anti-public school tax credits. We know the damage that privatization does to our communities, and they want to funnel public dollars into private hands at the expense of Black and brown communities. This isn't just policy, y'all. This is a fight for justice, for dignity, and the liberation of our school system, and we are here to win. So, We have an amazing panel of speakers. Our first speaker is part of what the hour that I described earlier. And we truly need more legislators like him to fight for our schools and communities. He's the author of the Keep Our Pact Act, which is a powerful piece of legislation that AROS has supported since day one. Senator Chris Van Hollen was elected to the U.S. Senate by the people of Maryland in November 2016, and he's committed to fighting every day to ensure that Maryland and our country live up to their full promise of equal rights, equal justice, and equal opportunity. We're so proud that he is our ally, and so please welcome Senator Chris Van Hollen.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Of course.
Thank you, Vaughn. Let's give it up for Vaughn, and it's great to be with all of you and Popular Democracy. It's great to be with the leaders from NEA and AFT and SEIU. Thank you all for being in the fight for our kids' education, because at the end of the day, what this is all about, what it should all be about, is making sure that every child, regardless of zip code, has a chance to get a high-quality education. That's why we're here. And if you look at the first 2 weeks, and my God, it's only been 2 weeks since President Trump was sworn in, you can see that there's a direct attack on our goal of trying to make sure that every child, regardless of zip code, gets a quality education. And if you look at what Donald Trump has done in 2 weeks, you have to say that when it comes to education and many other things, but we're focused on education today, he would get a big fat F grade, failing grade, from the teachers in this country. Let's start with history. Here's somebody who wants to erase history. We're celebrating Black History Month. He wants to erase Black history from our schools. He doesn't want to tell the truth. Let's look at reading the law of the land. You probably saw the other day that he took this action to try to freeze all federal grants to communities, Head Start programs, and other very important local priorities, including for education. Well, I say he failed English because you can read the law. You can read the law, and that's an illegal act. This is why already 2 federal court judges, one in Rhode Island, one here in the District of Columbia, have already issued temporary restraining orders against that action, saying, you got to read the law. It's right there in English. You're ignoring it. And we in Congress here need to make sure that we back up the law. So he's failing in English. He's failing in history. He is definitely failing in math, because simple math will tell you that we need to make this investment in our kids' public education. And if you look at their proposal is to gut investment in public education and transfer it to private schools. They want to put vouchers over public schools. And as part of that plan, they issued an executive order, not just saying that that was their goal, but to shut down the Department of Education. We're expecting that to come any day. There are a lot of, right now. So here's a president of the United States of America who's talking about closing down the department of the federal government that's there to help support our kids and people getting an education throughout the country. So when I say he gets a big fat F in math and English and history, that's because of his record in the first 2 weeks. And that's before the nomination of Linda McMahon. So Linda McMahon, I'm just telling you something. You know, I'm trying to figure out what her background has been in education. And you need to search far and wide, and I can tell you, even after you do that, you're not going to find anything. She apparently was on one board somewhere in Connecticut that had something to do with education, but then it turned out that she lied on her form about having a degree in education. So this is the person they're talking about putting in charge of the United States Department of Education. So we're here to just blow the whistle on the first 2 weeks of the Trump administration to give them the grade they deserve, which is an F, and to make it clear that their nominee to head the Department of Education is completely unqualified to lead this very important federal agency. Let me close with this. There are challenges in education. Thank you for mentioning the Keep Our Pact Act. So the Keep Our Pact Act is a bill that I introduced that says the federal government should make good on two things. First, it should fully fund what it promised on special ed, right, on IDEA. So when the federal government passed the IDEA Act back in the 1970s, it was the right thing to do. We said every child, regardless of disability, deserves a good education. And we said the federal government will pay 40% of that cost. Today we're at 12%. So we have a long way to go. So one thing the Keep Our Pact Act would do is put us on a path to fully fund special ed. They're talking about maybe block granting special ed. The other part of the Keep Our Pact Act is to fully fund Title I. That's right. Title I is an essential government program to try to achieve the goal of every child getting the very best education. And we have the authorized levels, and then we have the actual levels for Title I. And there are, as of this year, that's about a $35 billion shortfall. That is a lot of money that should be going to our kids' education that is going elsewhere. And we know where the elsewhere is in this administration. They do want to provide those very big tax cuts to people like Elon Musk and other billionaires. That is their ultimate goal. They're working on that right now. So they want to gut public education while they're giving tax cuts to very, very rich people and big corporations. And we've got to fight back. We got to fight back strongly. We got to say, hell no, we're not going that way. That is not what we should stand for in the United States of America. And so I'm proud to stand with all of you. And I apologize, I got to go into my caucus lunch with the Senate Democrats, and we need every single person fighting hard to get the word out about the damage that Donald Trump is doing to our education system. And we should make sure we vote down Linda McMahon. Thank you all very much. Thank you all. Great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Senator. Thank you for holding your colleagues accountable and being a fearless champion alongside our communities. Okay, our next speaker that we're going to hear from is from the National Education Association. We have Becky Pringle here with us today. Yeah, exactly, give it up, give it up, give it up. Becky Pringle is president of the National Education Association, NEA, the nation's largest labor union. Becky is a fierce social justice warrior, defender of educator rights. She is an unrelenting advocate for students. A middle school science teacher with 31 years of classroom experience, she is singularly focused on uniting union members and then using that collective power to create racial and social justice. Under her leadership, the association's goal to ensure the systemic fair treatment of people of all races is clearly underway. And this is why Becky is a staunch advocate of students with disabilities, students who identify as LGBTQ+, immigrant students, and English language learners. Please give it up for Becky Pringle.
Hey. Just take a look at this backdrop behind me. This is what we're fighting for. Our students, our babies. This is why we're here. Good afternoon. I am Becky Pringle. I taught science for 31 years and I have the honor of being the president of the National Education Association. I am so proud to stand here with my union siblings from AFT and SEIU, with Popular Democracy and ARROS, standing up for our students in what is an unthinkable moment. And you know, we've been talking about it as a moment, but it isn't. Dr. King described it accurately. This is a season of suffering, and we have to be ready to meet it. We have allies like Senator Van Hollen, a relentless voice, but we need more, and that's why we're here. As we mark the 50th anniversary of IDEA, we need unapologetic leadership in the fight for this nation to live up to its promises to our students with disabilities and those living in poverty. NEA members, our teachers and bus drivers and cafeteria employees, our nurses, our counselors, our educators in higher education, all believe our students deserve an education that provides them with the support and the tools they need in schools that can inspire their curiosity and their imagination and desire to learn, where justice and joy prevail. We are dedicated to our work and passionate about what we do. And one presidential election will not change that. Neither will this president's executive orders. Not the one calling for school vouchers instead of properly funding and strengthening our public schools. Not the one that will harm diversity, equity, and inclusion and access, including the four that target our transgender students and adults. Not his executive orders specifically designed to turn our immigrant friends and neighbors into prey. And not his executive orders that harm our environment and attack the government itself. None of this White House's administration's vicious and vengeful and villainous attacks has the power to sway us from our vision and our values. Despite the damage and the chaos that have managed to be created in just 2 weeks and 1 day, we are here standing together in solidarity and strength and beauty and brilliance, because we know the words of Dr. King still ring true today. This is no time for apathy or complacency. This is the time for vigorous action. So we will use vigorous action to demand safe, welcoming schools for every student. We will continue to call for the resources necessary to create school environments that are steeped in excellence. We will continue to protect all of our students, Black, white, brown, indigenous, AAPI, our students with disabilities, our students who live in under-resourced communities, our LGBTQ plus students, all of our students. When I say every student, I mean every student. We will also continue to fight for and with lawmakers like the senator who join us here today to support our students and those people who have dedicated their lives to teaching and nurturing them. Our students must never pay the price for tax cuts to billionaires who funded this president's campaign. The billionaires who are positioned to take cabinet posts they are supremely unqualified for. We must never allow their power and money grab, their illegal, immoral, cruel attempts to take away our rights and our dignity and our respect. Let us be clear. This battle is not just to stop the onslaught of the hate toward our communities and our allies, but to prevail even in the midst of darkness. To be that light of hope, that plausibility of the possible, to demonstrate the power of fierce activism. We will do it because we must. And because our students, our babies, are depending on us to be worthy of them. We won't stop when we fight. When we fight. When we fight. Thank you.
Woo! Becky and NEA are ready for vigorous action. Is that the who else is ready for vigorous action? Yes. Thank you for those powerful words and invoking Dr. King on this day. We appreciate you for being here, Becky, and standing alongside all of us here today. All right. Our next speaker is a young person representing Philadelphia. That's right. Pennsylvania. We have Stephen with us today. Stephen is a youth leader from Philly, speaking to the protection of immigrant youth. As son to immigrant youth, Stephen believes in a multiracial democracy where we can all thrive. As a member of Make the Road Pennsylvania's YPP, Stephen is passionate about making a meaningful difference in people's lives and advocating for justice. Please welcome Stephen to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephen with Make the Road Pennsylvania. Today I stand before you as a public school graduate, uncle, a son of immigrants, who is united with countless others to speak out against an urgent and growing threat to our immigrant youth. Right now, our immigrant students are facing a heartbreaking and terrifying reality. They are becoming the next targets of mass deportations and systemic injustice. The presence of ICE in our schools is not a hypothetical concern. It is a looming, immediate danger that puts the futures of our children and families at risk. If we remain silent, if we fail to demand safety and sanctuary for students and their families, we allow the fear and uncertainty brought on by ICE's presence to invade our schools, turning places of learning into places of dread. This is not a matter of just immigration policy. It is a matter of human dignity. If our students are forced to attend school under the constant threat of deportation, their education will be tainted by anxiety and fear. School, which should be a sanctuary for growth and development, will become a battleground for survival. Our immigrant students deserve better. They deserve to learn in an environment where they can thrive, where they can focus in their future without the constant fear that they or their families can be torn apart at any moment. Our schools are the foundation of our communities, the place where the next generation of leaders and citizens are shaped. To allow ICE raids to take place in our schools would be a betrayal of everything our democracy claims to stand for. This is not just an immigration issue, it is a community issue. It is about the stability, the safety, and the well-being of us all. When immigrant youth live in fear, we all lose. We cannot let this injustice unfold without resistance. We must stand together, united to protect our children, our neighbors, and the values that promote a strong and equitable education for all. Now is the time for action. The clock is ticking and the lives of countless young people hang in the balance. We cannot afford to remain passive. Our families, our communities, and our nation depend on us standing up for what is right. This is our moment to make our voices heard, to ensure that every child, regardless of their immigration status, can attend school in peace. Let us not wait any longer. Let's rise together as one to protect our immigrant youth, to protect the future of our country, and to demand the justice that every child in this nation deserves. Thank you.
Stephen. Yes, give it up for Stephen one more time. Yes. Thank you for reminding us that youth are truly the heart of this movement and the sharpened edge to cut through the BS and really form a path for us. So thank you so much, Stephen, for those words. All right, next up, we have the Secretary Treasurer of the AFT. We have Frederick Ingram. He is serving 1.7 million members at the AFT, from teachers to paraprofessionals to higher education faculty. Ingram is the immediate past president of the Florida Education Association and was an AFT vice president. He's also previously served as the president of the United Teachers of Dade, and he was the Teacher of the Year in 2006 out in Florida. Yes. Since becoming Secretary Treasurer of the AFT in 2020, Ingram has amplified the voices of AFT members nationwide, particularly on education, labor, and racial justice. So please give it up for Frederick now.
Thank you. When our schools are under attack, what do? Stand Now, I'm an old high school band director. I talk loud and I'm deaf, so I need you, okay? When our schools are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When our schools are under attack, what do we do? Stand up and fight back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're doing today. We are fighting back. We're fighting against bad policies. We're fighting against bad lawmakers. We're fighting against those who will fight our children, those who will fight those teachers, those bus drivers, those secretaries, people who give their lifeblood and soul to children every single day. In fact, 49 million children are in our public schools right now. My colleagues are delivering magic services. They're delivering the services to the brain. They are the academic first responders every single day in our classrooms. They are doing what they need to do. They're doing it despite these bad policies. They're giving their lifeblood and soul to a community that needs it. They are giving it to underserved children. They're giving it to our immigrant children. They're giving it to our Latino brothers and sisters, our Asian brothers and sisters. They're giving them the education of life that they need to be good stewards of society. And what do we have going on here in the nation's capital? We have a president who is a bully. We have a president who is a bully. We will not teach this to our children. If we did this in schools, we would be fired. And so what we are coming to you to say is, Mr. Trump, we need help in our schools. We don't need you to dismantle our schools. We don't need you to strike fear in our schools. We don't need you to take the money away from our schools. We need you to pour into our children. Pour into those teachers who give their lifeblood and soul to these kids every single day. Mr. Trump, your policies are racist. Mr. Trump, I don't know if you're racist, but the racists think you're racist. So we have a problem in America, and we need your help. We need your help because children need your help. Grandchildren need your help. Nieces and nephews. The kid across the street deserves the same opportunity as the kid in your house. And so we're standing here because we're going to fight every single day. All of my colleagues from the NEA, from SEIU, from all of our groups that are gathered here today, we're standing before you to tell you that we're not going anywhere because we believe in what we do, because we believe in our future. Our future is always invested in our children. You have insulted our classrooms enough by trying to put someone who is a non-educator in front of education. I don't know Linda McMahon, but I do know WWE. And I know those are two completely different things. When you talk about education, that's a real thing that is going in somebody's mind. It is not a predetermined outcome. What we have to do every day is hard work. We work hard with our children from band to math, from art to reading, from science to history, every single day. And we deserve the respect that we give our kids every day. And so we're here in the nation's capital to bring truth to power. All over America, we're going to stand up and fight back for our public schools because that's what we do at the AFT. That's what we do in this nation. Our kids deserve it. Our country deserves it. And in fact, this world deserves a fight back and a push to anything that will harm any kid in any school, anywhere. Let's get this right because 49 million of our children are depending on us to get it right. Thank you on behalf of the AFT.
Yes, yes, AFT is fired up and ready to fight back. Who's ready to fight back with AFT? Yes, yes. Thank you so much for that, Fed. All right, our next speaker is going to be representing SEIU. Thank you for the woo-woo. Representing Local 500, we have Miss Henrietta Jenkins. Representing Local 500, she's a trustee of Montgomery County. A technical help desk specialist for over 33 years in the district. Miss Henrietta has worked tirelessly to support staff in her district. She is a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother, and she wants to talk about how she's been in this system this long and saw resources dwindle and has now been watching her staff struggle. So with that, I'd like to introduce Miss Henrietta Jenkins.
Woo, we're fired up.
Ready to go.
Hello, my name is Henrietta Jenkins. I represent SEIU Local 500. I'm a trustee, and I work for Montgomery County Public Schools at the Technical Help Desk. Okay. Where we support all MCPS employees, Our support starts here, and it drills down to the classroom where we support the success of every student. We are understaffed, we are undervalued, and undersourced for the work that we are required to do. Technology for a lot is not friendly and has evolved to make sure everyone has to use it. With the lack of resources, it's frustrating and overwhelming at times, especially during mandatory training, with the security of student data as well as personal data being at the forefront more and more. It is urgent that we get the resources and staff that are needed to secure our students' future. We have 10-month, 11-month, and 12-month employees, hourly and salaried employees. This is critical for our future. The resources and staff should be at the front of our minds. As a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother, I am more concerned, frightened even, regarding the future of generations to come. How dare the government cut funding for education, taking resources needed and monies needed? I have worked in the district for over 33 years and have seen funding and resources dwindle. I stand in solidarity with school employees that are not afforded full-time status. They don't get paid during the summer months or at breaks, and I see the negativity impact them in their families. Our students, schools, and educators deserve the best. Our fight back is for quality, fully funded public schools for all. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Ms. Henrietta. Thank you for calling out the urgency and the needs in school for school staff, educators, paraprofessionals. And we definitely got your back. We got their back? We got SEIU's back? Absolutely. We feel that you have our back, and together we're going to win this fight. All right, our next speaker is representing the Alliance for Educational Justice, AEJ. We have Keno Walker, the new co-director for AEJ, who was raised in South Florida. Keno's firsthand experience with the school-to-prison pipeline has profoundly shaped his work. Experiences throughout his family ignited Keno's passion for advocating against the presence of police in schools and communities. So with that, I'd like y'all to give it up for Keno Walker.
Hey everybody, my name is Keno Walker. I'm, as Vaughn said, one of the new directors of the Alliance for Educational Justice. Initially, we all know that public schools is a cornerstone. It is a right for our students. What we also know is that we have these forces that are pushing and fighting against what we need, what students need, and at the same time, we have students all across the nation that are fighting to get what they want every day. And what they're asking for, safe, supportive schools. Students that don't have to have fear, immigrant students that don't have to fear deportation. LGBTQ students not fearing discrimination. Black BIPOC students not have to worry about the school to prison pipeline. We are asking for resources. We're asking for resources. We are asking for resources. We're not being pushed aside. We're not allowing to be pushed aside. These executive orders that are being pushed out are not going to be useful for us, not going to be useful for students, not going to be useful for our community. We know that students are a powerful force for change, and they have been throughout generations. Thinking about our movement, thinking about the work that we have done, Black, brown, LGBTQ, all young folks have been stepping up in these fights throughout generations, and they're going to continue to do so. We're not allowing it. We are not allowing it. We need to be shifting the harm and the narrative of the harm that Black, brown students are the problem. That is not the facts. The time to act is now, y'all. The time to act is now. OMG. OMG, it's Linda McMahon and her evil diabolical plan to destroy public education.
Student, parents, teachers, and staff, people all over the world, get ready because we are live and we've got something so spectacular, so wonderful that you don't want to blink for a minute. And it's all happening right here, right now. Woo! Get ready for the ultimate smackdown. Today is an epic battle that'll shape the entirety of the entire student for this country. In the left wing, get ready for the ultimate champions, the defenders of the youth. These aren't just any fighters. They're the ones that say no to the destruction of public schools. Give it up for the education defenders. And in the right wing, and in the right wing, we have the privatization pusher and enemy to teachers, unions, and students, the woman who will kill public ed, former WWE CEO, Linda McMahon. Boo! Get ready for the ultimate smackdown because it all happens right here, right now. Let's get ready to rumble! Round one, save and fully fund Title I. In the right corner, Trump's plans to eliminate Title I funding. In the left corner, education defenders. And fight. And freeze. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Junie Kim, and I'm a junior at Watkins Mill High School located in Montgomery County, Maryland, and also the president of Young People for Progress. I am here to demand that Title I be adequately and fully funded. Title I funding is crucial, and I have seen its effect reflected in my school. Many feeder schools to our high school qualify for Title I funding and rely on those funds to ensure students receive equitable education. Specifically, in our feeder middle school, Title I funding is used not only for 2 focus teachers to improve literacy and math scores, especially for emerging multilingual learners, but it is also used to create a trusting school environment. Without these measures and this necessary funding, many students will be prone to dropping out of school and continuing the cycle of poverty, as education is key to breaking that cycle. Our high school's graduation rate is one of the lowest in the county at 81%, signifying the need for Title I funding to create pathways to trade school, college, or stable employment. Moreover, Title I funding also decreases the school-to-prison pipeline, as the funding can be used for community strengthening activities. Community building and resources that encourage students to stay in school reduce the risk of students resorting to negative behaviors. We must continue Title I funding to ensure every student has the opportunity to succeed and contribute to society. Thank you.
I am Daryl Dorsey, a parent union leader with Step Up Louisiana. I'm also a member of Popular Democracy and Journey for Justice Alliance. I am a parent of an 11th grade student in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and for all his life I have been an advocate for public schools and funding for public schools. Since Hurricane Katrina in 2005, we have watched private organizations come and descend and take over the Orleans Parish school system. I live in East Baton Rouge Parish, and now they're trying to do that to us. They're taking funds, the Title I funding that has funded plenty of meals for families, after-school activities like the Big Buddy program, which my sister and I was a part of, and even Upward Bound program. There's a lot of wonderful programs that will be destroyed if they take away our Title I funding. So they're coming in. Recently, just January the 6th, in East Baton Rouge Parish, we had a charter school who decided that they're going to close their doors in May. That is going to leave about 300 kids and families to find a new school. They're taking the money and running because they're not providing adequate education for our kids. Education in this world and in the United States is a right, and we have to hold our leaders accountable for it. Thank you.
And the winners of round one, give it up for the Education Defenders! Title I. Round two. Excuse me. Preserving civil rights protections for Black, brown, and trans youth. In the right corner, revoking federal funding that teaches the truth and supports trans and BIPOC youth. In the left, boo! In the left corner, excuse me, support of full funding for school districts that recognize gender and cultural expansiveness. Woo! And give it up for round the second. Woo! And freeze! All right. Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I'm a 19-year-old student, and I am a queer ally with trans friends and neighbors. And I can't even begin to comprehend the struggle trans people face in their everyday life. But we should come together as a queer community and for the queer community, for one another, and take care of each other. So I come here and speak in their names. I'm from Detroit, Southwest Detroit specifically, who is built from immigrant power, and I'm joining my home organization 482 Forward, who work hard as students, parents, and teachers on protecting education rights. Trans people shouldn't fear. Trans children and students should not have to fear to go on in their everyday lives, to travel, to use a restroom, or to go to school safely. No matter how much you try to erase us and remove trans and queer people from your lives, we live, they live, and we will always live. Because trans lives matter, trans youth lives matter. Protect queer lives, and let's take care of each other in these hard times. And round two goes to the Education Defenders! Round three, save and fully fund the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. In the right side, Trump's plans to dismantle IDEA. In the left corner, Education Defender Fari to save IDEA by preventing it from being changed and to keep our Fund Act. And freeze! Fari, go. Your testimony.
Jambo Bwana, I am Fari Gamina Tumpe with Spaces in Action DC. I want to thank my Executive Director LaDon Love and our whole team from Spaces in Action for supporting me today, and my granddaughter. The reason why I stand. In 1997, President Bill Clinton enacted IDEA 97 because every youth in this country has the right to a FAPE, a free, appropriate public education. Over 7 million youth in this country rely on IDEA 97 and Title I funding. But IDEA 97 has never been fully funded since 1997. So how dare you propose a program that has never been fully funded? We still need funding for more dedicated aides for youth with disabilities. We still need funding for more psychological evaluations from early learning intervention. We still need funding for assistive technology. And at each transition in a youth life, from birth to 3, from elementary, from middle school to high school, and into the world, We need funding for transitional programs, for vocational training, because let's face it, every kid will not go to college. And we also need funding for OST, out-of-school programs, OSP, out-of-school programs. Because most children get to stay after school and participate in basketball, football, cheerleading, chess club, drama club, but our students, special education students, primarily, oftentimes not in their communities, oftentimes in another state. They don't have the opportunities for creative expression. They don't have the opportunities for the social and emotional learning competencies that come from participating in extracurricular activities. Let me hear you say shame.
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 But let's talk a little bit about D.C. In Washington, D.C., we have a law called the South Capitol Street Memorial Act, which is legislation that governs school-based behavioral health in the nation's capital. This law is directly supporting the school-to-prison pipeline in D.C. because school-based behavioral health is primarily governed by the Metropolitan Police Department. So I stand here today for Jedi Oru, a 7-year-old that was put in handcuffs with autism because he could not keep his mask on the bus. I stand here for my grandson, Aiden White, who when he was 10 years old, the bus broke down for 2 hours and he got anxious, was called and put in handcuffs by the Metropolitan Police Department at 10 years old. And I stand here for my granddaughter, Naila White, who would love to participate in track or cheerleading in her school. And all 7 million children across this nation's country deserve the right to a free and appropriate public education. Let me hear you say, care, not cops.
Care not cops.
Care, not cops.
Care not cops.
Care, not cops.
Care not cops.
If you better win, you got to stand up and fight. When I say education, you say is a right. Education.
Is a right.
Education.
Is a right.
Education.
Is a right.
Education.
Is a right.
If you want to win, you better stand up and fight. When I say education, you say is a right. Education.
Is a right.
Education.
Is a right.
Education.
Is a right.
Thank you.
Hey! And round 3 goes to the education defenders. And the final round. As we've heard before, the Trump administration is actively attacking immigrant youth. We have the power to overcome. Our final speaker. To the left, we have Mariah, our education defender. And to the right, we have Trump's plan to defund education. Boo! And fight. And freeze.
My name is Mariah, and I am 7, and my school is Hollen. Kids like me need you
overcome. We want to thank everyone for coming to our presser and to our action today. Folks from Popular Democracy will be around should the press want to take any comments from us. And we want to thank you again. Be safe, y'all. Hug your loved ones and hope to see you soon.